Hey there, welcome to Ask Dr. Patel, where I answer your questions about medical marijuana. I'm Dr. Patel. I specialize in the area of medical marijuana, and what that means is that I walk patients through how to safely use marijuana for their particular medical conditions. So let's get on to today's question. It comes from Paul of Pleasanton, California, and here's what he writes. Dr. Patel, I was diagnosed with degenerative disc disease several years back. Most of the time I have a dull nagging pain in my lower back. But say, for instance, I sit in one position for too long. Then I'm a goner. It turns into very sharp stabbing pain that can sometimes last for a couple days at a time. During meetings at work, I have to continuously stand up to stretch my back. Even on road trips, when I go to see my kids and grandchildren, I have to make repeated stops to stretch my back. Actually, the position that provides me with the most relief is lying on my bed with a pillow under my knees. But practically speaking, I can't afford to lie in bed all day long. Over the years, I've run the gamut of treatments to relieve my back pain. I started off by applying ice packs and heating pads. I then tried over-the-counter medications like Tylenol, Advil, Aleve, you name it. I've been prescribed Norco, but it gave me side effects like nausea and constipation. I've had epidural steroid injections too, but those only provided temporary relief. I've consulted with a surgeon about the possibility of getting a surgery, but to be quite honest, I'd really like to hold off until I've exhausted all other possible options. I've been considering using medical marijuana. I want to know what sort of results I can expect. Regards, Paul. Paul, this is an excellent question, and in fact, chronic pain, especially that from back pain, is one of the most common conditions that I treat in my practice. Now, to answer your question, I want to start off by giving you some insight on some research that was done. This particular study was done fairly recently in 2014. But before I dive in, I want to give you a little bit of background information so you fully understand what I'm talking about. Back pain from degenerative disc disease is due to inflammation, okay? And this inflammation is due to a breakdown in the components of the intervertebral discs. These intervertebral discs, as the name implies, they're round discs, they're filled with a jelly-like material, and what it does is that it acts like as a cushion between the bones in your spine so that, say, when you turn your back, you don't have bone rubbing up against bone. Now, in this particular study, to mimic the degenerative disc disease in rats, what these researchers did was they took a needle and they punctured the intervertebral discs in these rats. Now, I know there's a little bit of animal torture going on here, but the reason they did this was to cause a breakdown in the components of the intervertebral discs. Then what they did was they split the rats up into 3 different groups, okay? So the first group they injected with 30 nanomoles of marijuana. The second group they injected with 60 nanomoles of marijuana, and then the third group they injected with 120 nanomoles of marijuana. When they looked at the spines of these rats on an MRI, what they found was that the group that was injected with 120 nanomoles of marijuana actually had significantly less breakdown in the components of the intervertebral discs. And the researchers believe this is because the marijuana has very potent anti-inflammatory properties. Now, what do I see in the humans in my practice? So first and foremost, my patients come back to me saying that the marijuana has either dulled or helped to eliminate their back pain. This then allows them to do activities like travel over long distances, whether it's by plane or by car. It allows them to sit at a desk and work on a computer for an extended period of time. The other thing is that it allows them to stay asleep. They're no longer awakened in the middle of the night by their pain. The most surprising thing, though, is that patients come back to me saying that they have managed to completely come off of the pharmaceutical medications that they were on and instead are controlling their back pain just with marijuana on an as-needed basis. Paul, I hope you find this information valuable, and I hope it's also helpful to anybody else out there that's looking for information on treating their back pain with medical marijuana. Now, I'm eager to hear from you. I have a wealth of information about medical marijuana. I want you to ask me your questions in the comment section below, and I'll try my best to answer them in a future video blog. Thanks.